The circle. The circle came to my mind because I used to be into punk rock and still kind of am. Always probably will be. And there's something called the mosh pit. And in the mosh pit, you slam dance in a circle. So I thought, geez, that's kind of symbolic to me because this whole idea of 360 degrees, getting back to where you came from, kind of like the Bible, right? You start off in the garden with the first Adam, and in the end, in the book of Revelation, you end back in the garden with the second Adam. And the number 360 is interesting to me because it, is a full circle. But if you take 3 times 60, you get 180, which is exactly half of a circle. So it's a very interesting number to me. And it's the theme of a lot of things in the Bible. God declares the end, which would be right here, from the beginning, which would be right there, right at the same point. It says he knows the end from the beginning, right? He declares it. And Ecclesiastes 1:9 and Ecclesiastes 3:15 talk about patterns repeating themselves. So again, patterns repeating themselves. You have a circular idea there. So is it possible that somehow this idea of a mosh pit in punk rock, slam dancing in a circle, is kind of connected to all this? I'm not sure. But it's something in my heart that came up because punk rock was and still kind of is a big part of my life. It's also very amazing because when you look at the cellular level, the atom, right? The atom, atom, not adam, but there's a connection there. The atom, you have the nucleus, the center, and then you have everything revolving around the nucleus. The electrons and the protons and the neutrons. So you have this idea of a circle also. Some people would even say what goes around comes around, right? The idea of karma. In the Bible, though, we have the idea of reaping and sowing. What a man reapeth, that shall he sow. So this whole idea of the circle is very large. It's a very big theme in the Bible, patterns. And again, if you can figure out patterns in the Bible in the Old Testament to these stories like the book of Esther, the book of Ruth, the book of Genesis especially, like I've shown and have figured out some with the help of God, then, and also the book of Joshua, then you can figure out the end times. Because those patterns are all coming together and repeating themselves in big waves. Big waves. Waves also. Not only through the heavens, through the moon cycles and the sun cycles, repeating themselves the same way at the same time, but the stories themselves. The book of Joshua, we see that Joshua means Yeshua. He's a type and shadow of Jesus. And he is fighting the other tribes at a place called Ai. Ai. And that's the last day's pattern here. Jesus is up against Ai. Just like in the movie The Terminator. The Terminator is the perfect picture because John Connor and the Resistance fight the AI in 2029. Right where I've marked the year of the return of Jesus Christ. The last Shemitah. The last 7-year cycle. So again, this circle, it's a biblical principle. 360 degrees. And figuring out patterns for prophecy and in just understanding in general in life. It's pretty true, actually. A biblical principle, applicable in many ways. Even in punk rock. The mosh pit, right? Also, the earth in Isaiah 40:22 talks about the circle of the earth, the flat earth, so this would be a top view. But you have the circle of the earth, right? Not only that, but the sun, the moon, and the stars above the flat earth, this is the top view looking down, go around. The earth is stationary and they go around in a circle, just like a clock. It's 12 hours on a clock, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 constellations marking them, which is called the Mazzaroth in the Bible. So this circle, this idea of the circular pattern, God really likes to use it. The whirlwind, right? The tornado whirlwind that caught Elijah up, right? Using that circular pattern. And of course, the stars that I filmed, which are actually angels, explained in Ezekiel chapter 1. The wheels within the wheels, 2 circles there. And then you have the spirit of the living creature in the center of these wheels. Most of you guys have seen these videos of the stars / angels. But I mean, it's rather amazing, this idea that every night above us, this is what is actually there. And NASA will never show you these wheels within the wheels. And the spirit of the living creature inside of these wheels. Especially this one. Take a look at that. You can't debunk that. Filmed with a Nikon P900 Coolpix camera. You can even go look in the mirror and look in your own eyes. And you see the wheels within the wheels. And you are the spirit of the living creature inside of those wheels. Remember in Matthew chapter 22 verse 30, the Bible says that we shall be as the angels of God in heaven.